Professor Diana Blackwood's footsteps echoed through the musty basement of Princeton's physics department. At 68, she still maintained the same curiosity that had driven her groundbreaking work in quantum mechanics decades ago. The ancient fluorescent lights flickered overhead as she made her way past rows of forgotten equipment and dusty filing cabinets. The anonymous email that had brought her here on a Sunday evening was peculiar, but its contents had aligned too perfectly with her recent research to ignore. For months, she had detected unusual quantum fluctuations in her experiments, patterns that defied conventional physics. Diana's arthritis-worn hands traced the wall, following the coordinates from the email. The concrete was cool beneath her fingers until suddenly, it wasn't. A section of the wall hummed with subtle warmth, barely perceptible but unmistakably there. Her heart quickened as she pressed harder, and the surface seemed to yield like gel beneath her touch. "Extraordinary," she whispered, her British accent carrying in the empty basement. The wall began to glow with a soft, azure light that pulsed in sync with her heartbeat. As she watched, mesmerized, the concrete transformed into a crystalline structure, revealing what appeared to be an ancient control panel embedded within. Diana's decades of scientific training warred with what her eyes were telling her. The panel was covered in symbols that seemed to shift and change as she looked at them, like quantum particles refusing to be observed. Her hand moved of its own accord, drawn to a central glyph that resembled a double helix intertwined with unfamiliar geometric patterns. The moment her fingers made contact, the world around her transformed. The basement dissolved into a vast chamber of living crystal, and her consciousness expanded beyond the confines of her aging body. Information flooded her mind, mathematical equations that made her life's work look like simple arithmetic, histories of civilizations that had risen and fallen among the stars, and warnings of a darkness spreading through the galaxy. "Professor Blackwood," a voice resonated in her mind, neither male nor female, neither young nor old. "You have activated the Nexus key. We have waited millennia for one with the correct quantum signature." Diana steadied herself against the crystal wall, her silver hair falling loose from its usual tight bun. What are you?" "We are the archivists," the voice replied. "We seeded your world with quantum markers, waiting for your species to evolve the capability to perceive them. You are the first to achieve this potential." Through the crystalline walls, Diana saw images of Earth's history from an impossible perspective, ancient civilizations guided by subtle influences, human evolution nudged along an unseen path. She saw the truth behind humanity's quantum leap in technological development over the past century. "Why me?" she asked, though part of her already knew the answer. Her life's work on quantum consciousness hadn't been purely theoretical after all. "Your research drew our attention, but it was your genetic sequence that confirmed our expectations. You carry within you a specific combination of genes we engineered into your species' DNA millions of years ago. These genes are now beginning to activate across your population." Diana's scientific mind raced with the implications. "The quantum fluctuations in my experiments were your own latent abilities manifesting," the voice confirmed. "But we must act quickly. Others have detected your awakening. The Xylaxians believe humanity's emergence threatens their dominion over this sector of space. The Nomad Collective sees your species as a weapon to be controlled." The crystal chamber pulsed with urgent energy. Diana felt knowledge being downloaded into her consciousness, secrets of matter, energy, and the fundamental forces that bound reality together. Her body tingled as ancient genes fully activated, flooding her cells with new potential. Warning signals flashed through the crystal matrix. "They approach," the voice announced. "You must choose, Professor Blackwood. Accept your role as humanity's guide through its awakening, or watch your species become pawns in a cosmic war." Diana straightened her back, years of academic politics and scientific skepticism having prepared her for moments of decisive action. "Show me what I need to know." The chamber erupted with blinding light as the full power of the Nexus key merged with her consciousness. When the light faded, Diana Blackwood was transformed. Her silver hair floated in an unseen breeze, her eyes now shimmering with the same crystalline light as the chamber around her. Knowledge of 1,000 alien civilizations coursed through her mind, along with the terrible truth of what was coming. As alarms began blaring throughout the university campus and the first signs of alien ships appeared in the night sky above Princeton, Diana Blackwood, professor, scientist, and now humanity's unlikely guardian, prepared to face a destiny she never imagined possible. The Nexus key had chosen her, and with it, the future of human evolution hung in the balance. Above, the stars trembled with the approach of forces beyond human comprehension, but Diana felt no fear. For the first time in her long career, the true nature of reality lay bare before her, and she knew exactly what needed to be done. The Princeton campus erupted into chaos as 3 crystalline ships descended from the night sky, their surfaces refracting moonlight in impossible patterns. Diana Blackwood stood at the entrance of the physics building, the Nexus key's power thrumming through her transformed body. Campus security vehicles converged on the scene, their sirens adding to the growing pandemonium. Professor Blackwood. Dr. James Rivera, her former graduate student and now fellow faculty member, rushed toward her. He stopped short, his dark eyes widening at her altered appearance. "What's happening? What happened to you?" Diana raised a hand, now traced with subtle lines of luminescent energy. "James, I need you to listen carefully. Contact General Catherine Walsh at the Pentagon. Tell her, Protocol Omega-7 is now active. She'll understand." Before James could respond, the air crackled with energy as the first Xylaxian ship landed in the central courtyard. Its crystalline surface folded open like a blooming flower, revealing beings that seemed to be composed of living diamond. Their bodies were vaguely humanoid but fractalized, each movement creating cascading patterns of light. "Step aside, Archivist Puppet," the lead Xylaxian's thoughts projected into everyone's minds. "Your interference in human development violates the Galactic Concordat." Diana felt the Nexus key's knowledge surge through her consciousness. The Concordat was built on lies, Overseer VYX. You've kept humanity ignorant of their true potential because you fear what we might become. Students and faculty gathered at windows and doorways, recording the impossible scene on their phones. Diana could sense the military forces already scrambling, fighter jets launching from bases across the eastern seaboard. But conventional weapons would be useless against Xylaxian technology. The air shimmered again, but this time with a darker energy. Above the campus, space itself seemed to tear open as a massive vessel of black metal and writhing energy emerged. The Nomad Collective had arrived. "The humans are our rightful harvest," a chorus of voices echoed from the new ship. "Their quantum potential belongs to the collective." Diana felt the full weight of the moment. Humanity's first official contact with alien life was turning into a 3-way standoff, with Earth's future hanging in the balance. The knowledge within her showed countless worlds that had faced similar moments, most had not survived. "Professor," James whispered, still at her side, "whatever you're planning, I'm with you." Diana smiled, grateful for his loyalty. She raised her hands, and the Nexus key's power flowed through her, creating a dome of shimmering quantum energy over the campus. Both alien factions recoiled as they recognized the ancient technology. Humanity, Diana projected her thoughts globally, knowing that every electronic device on Earth would carry her message, "You are witnessing the end of our isolation in the universe." But this is not a first contact scenario, it is a reunion. The truth of our origins and our potential has been hidden from us, but no longer. The Xylaxian Overseer stepped forward, its crystalline form pulsing with anger. "You overstep your authority, human. The Archivists abandoned this sector eons ago. Their technology is not yours to command." "The Archivists didn't abandon us," Diana countered, understanding flowing through her. "They became us. Human consciousness itself is their final evolution, seeded through our DNA, waiting to awaken." The Nomad Collective ship pulsed with dark energy. "Then you will share their fate. The Collective consumed the Archivists' other worlds. Yours will be no different. But Diana wasn't finished. She reached out with her newly awakened abilities, connecting with minds across the globe. Everywhere, humans with the right genetic markers felt their own quantum consciousness stirring. The archivist's long game was finally revealing itself. Humanity wasn't just one potential candidate for awakening. They were all carriers of the same dormant abilities. James, Diana said softly, remember your quantum entanglement theories? The ones the department rejected as too radical. He nodded, his eyes fixed on the alien ships. They weren't theories. Diana raised her hands higher, and around the world, thousands of others felt their own quantum potential awakening. They were prophecies. The night sky erupted with light as humanity's first step toward its true evolution began, and Diana Blackwood, professor, guardian, and now leader, prepared to guide her species through its most challenging transition yet. The Xylaxians and the Nomad Collective were about to learn why the archivists had chosen Earth as their final legacy. Deep within the hastily established Quantum Defense Command Center beneath the Rocky Mountains, Diana Blackwood stood before a wall of holographic displays. Each screen showed different cities across the globe where newly awakened humans were discovering their abilities. The Nexus Key's power had triggered a cascade effect, activating dormant genes in thousands of people simultaneously. The numbers are growing exponentially, reported Dr. Raj Patel, a quantum physicist from MIT who had been one of the first to awaken. His hands moved through the air, manipulating data streams with barely a thought. We're seeing new activations every hour. Diana nodded, watching as golden dots of awakened consciousness bloomed across the global map. But her attention was drawn to the darker patches, areas where the Nomad Collective had already begun their incursions. The enemy wasn't just attacking with ships and weapons, they were targeting the quantum field itself, trying to disrupt humanity's awakening. Professor Blackwood, General Catherine Walsh's voice carried across the command center. The Xylaxians are requesting another audience. They claim to have information about the archivists that we need to hear. Diana turned, her crystalline-enhanced eyes meeting the general's steady gaze. In the 3 days since first contact, Walsh had proven to be an invaluable ally, quickly grasping the magnitude of what humanity faced. Very well, Diana agreed. But this time, we meet on our terms. The command center's central platform transformed, quantum technology merged with human innovation creating a secure conference space. The air shimmered as 3 Xylaxian representatives materialized, their crystalline forms more subdued than during their first hostile arrival. You were right, Professor, the lead Xylaxian, no longer speaking as an overseer but as an equal, admitted. We have monitored humanity's development for millennia, fearing this moment. But we never understood why the archivists chose your species until now. Diana felt the Nexus Key's knowledge stirring. Show us. The Xylaxians combined their powers, creating a holographic representation of the galaxy. Within it, dark tendrils of Nomad Collective influence spread like a cancer. The Collective isn't just an alien race, they explained. They are what remains of civilizations that chose to merge with quantum technology instead of evolving naturally. They consume worlds, absorbing consciousness and technology alike. And the archivists? Raj asked, his fingers dancing through data streams as he analyzed the map. We're the first to understand the true nature of consciousness and its role in the universe. They discovered that organic life, given time and the right conditions, could evolve natural quantum abilities far more powerful than any artificial enhancement. But such evolution was slow, vulnerable. Diana completed the thought, understanding flowing through her. So they seeded countless worlds, hiding their essence in DNA that would only activate when the species was ready. Earth wasn't just another experiment, we're their final sanctuary. The holographic display zoomed in on Earth, showing the intricate quantum web now connecting awakened humans. But something else caught Diana's attention, patterns in the quantum field she hadn't noticed before. The equations, she whispered, her enhanced mind racing. They're not just showing us our potential. They're a warning. She waved her hand, manipulating the display to show what she was seeing. The Nomad Collective isn't just attacking Earth. They're trying to access something buried deep in human consciousness, the complete knowledge of the archivists. General Walsh stepped forward, her military training warring with these new revelations. You're saying every awakened human carries part of an ancient alien civilization in their DNA? That's what the collective wants. Not just knowledge, Diana corrected, the truth becoming clear. Power. The kind of power that could reshape reality itself. The archivists didn't just give us their memories, they gave us their evolutionary potential, hidden where the collective couldn't find it until we were ready to use it. The command center erupted with activity as new attacks were detected worldwide. The Nomad Collective, perhaps sensing that their true goal had been discovered, was escalating their offensive. We need to wake more people, Raj insisted. The faster we activate humanity's potential, the stronger our defense will be. But Diana saw the flaw in that plan. The holographic display showed critical patterns forming in the quantum field. No, she said firmly. Forced awakening would be exactly what the collective wants. We need to understand what we're truly capable of first. She turned to the Xylaxian representatives, who had watched the exchange with growing understanding. You fear us because you know what we might become. Help us instead. Help us unlock our potential the right way, before the collective forces an awakening that could destroy everything. The crystalline beings communicated silently among themselves before responding. We will help, but you must understand, what humanity is becoming is beyond even our comprehension. The archivist's final evolution could either save the galaxy or unmake it entirely. Diana looked around the command center, at the humans and aliens working together, at the quantum field connecting consciousness across the planet, at the darkness gathering at the edges of their reality. The weight of the archivist's legacy pressed upon her, but she felt no fear. Understanding was coming, and with it, the power to face whatever the collective would throw at them next. The true test of humanity's potential was about to begin. The Quantum Defense Command Center shuddered as another collective attack tested humanity's defenses. Diana Blackwood stood unshaken, her silver hair illuminated by the swirling quantum energies that now filled the command center. A month had passed since first contact, and Earth had become the front line of a war that most humans were only beginning to understand. Their attacks are evolving, Raj reported, his consciousness simultaneously monitoring quantum disturbances across 3 continents. They're not just targeting our defenses anymore, they're trying to alter the fabric of spacetime around Earth. The Xylaxian ambassador, who had taken the human name Crystal, moved forward. Its crystalline form had adapted to work more closely with human technology, becoming more streamlined and less alien. They seek to isolate your planet from the quantum field entirely. If they succeed, humanity's awakening will be cut off. Your species will be trapped in a pocket of dead spacetime. Diana processed this information through her enhanced consciousness. The Nexus Key's power had grown within her, showing her possibilities that defied conventional physics. But it also showed her the price of using such power. Professor, General Walsh's voice carried across the command center. We're detecting massive quantum fluctuations near the lunar base. The collective, they're doing something we've never seen before. The main display shifted, showing the moon. Dark tendrils of impossible energy were wrapping around Earth's satellite, turning its surface into a writhing mass of quantum distortions. As they watched, the lunar base's quantum shields began to fail. 400 people up there, Walsh said quietly. Including your granddaughter, Professor. Diana's heart clenched. Dr. Rachel Blackwood had been coordinating quantum research from the lunar base, working to understand the full extent of humanity's new abilities. Now she was trapped as the collective began their most ambitious attack yet. I'm detecting temporal distortions, Raj announced, his voice tense. They're not just attacking the base, they're trying to erase it from history. If they succeed, everyone there will never have existed. The command center erupted into action, but Diana stood still, understanding flowing through her. The archivist's knowledge within her DNA showed her exactly what the collective was attempting, and how to stop it. But the price would be devastating. Professor Blackwood, Crystal approached her, its crystalline form pulsing with concern. You see it, don't you? The quantum nexus point they're creating? Diana nodded. They're forcing our hand. Either we unleash humanity's full potential now, ready or not, or we lose everything. The strain would tear reality apart, Crystal warned. Your species isn't ready for that much power. The archivists designed the awakening to be gradual for a reason. But Diana was already reaching out with her consciousness, connecting with every awakened human on Earth. She felt their minds link with hers, scientists, soldiers, teachers, children, all carrying the archivist's legacy in their DNA. There's another way, she said softly. But I'll need your help. The Xylaxian ambassador studied her for a moment before understanding dawned. You want to create a quantum bridge. Channel all of humanity's potential through yourself. The archivists chose Earth for a reason, Diana explained, her voice carrying to every corner of the command center. We're not just carrying their knowledge, we're carrying their capacity for sacrifice. They're understanding that sometimes, one must risk everything to save everything. General Walsh stepped forward. Whatever you're planning, we're with you. Diana smiled sadly. Activate the quantum amplifiers. All of them. And get me a direct channel to Rachel. As the command center sprang into action, Diana reached out to touch the quantum field that connected all awakened humans. She felt their consciousness merge with hers, not being absorbed, but freely given. The Nexus Key's power surged through her body, no longer just awakening potential but channeling the combined quantum energy of an entire species. The air around her began to crystallize, reality itself bending as she took on more power than any human was meant to handle. But Diana didn't fight it. She had finally understood why the archivists had chosen her, had waited for someone with both the knowledge to understand their gift and the wisdom to use it properly. Rachel, she whispered as the quantum link to the lunar base stabilized. Hold on, sweetheart. Grandmother's coming. Above them, the moon blazed with dark energy as the collective's temporal weapon reached its peak. But Diana Blackwood, glowing with the combined quantum potential of humanity, prepared to make a choice that would either save her species or condemn it. The final battle for humanity's evolution was about to begin. Diana Blackwood hung suspended in a cocoon of pure quantum energy, her consciousness expanded beyond the bounds of normal spacetime. Through her awareness flowed the combined potential of humanity, billions of minds linked together, their dormant archivist genes fully awakened through her sacrifice. The moon hung before her, its surface writhing with the collective's temporal weapons. But from her new perspective, Diana could see what they couldn't, the deeper pattern beneath reality itself, the universal dance of quantum possibilities that the archivists had understood eons ago. Grandmother, Rachel's voice reached her through the quantum link, strained but unafraid. The base's shields are failing. Whatever you're planning. I understand now, Diana responded, her voice resonating through the quantum field. Why the archivists chose Earth, chose humanity. It was never about the power, it was about the choice. The collective's vast consciousness pressed against her defenses, trying to breach the quantum barrier she had created. Their voices echoed through the void, a chorus of consumed civilizations speaking as one. Your species cannot contain the archivist's legacy, they boomed. Surrender it to us. Join our perfection. But Diana wasn't listening to them anymore. The Nexus Key's knowledge had finally revealed its ultimate truth. The archivists hadn't hidden their power in human DNA to preserve it. They had hidden it to transform it. Raj, she commanded, her consciousness spanning the distance between Earth and Moon instantly. Initialize the quantum resonance cascade. All stations. Around the globe, quantum amplifiers hummed to life. The Xylaxians watched in awe as humanity's combined consciousness began to shift, not toward godlike power as the collective had feared, but toward something entirely new. The archivists didn't want us to become them, Diana proclaimed, understanding flooding through her. They wanted us to become what they couldn't, beings who could touch the infinite while remaining human. The collective's attack faltered as they sensed the change beginning. Diana reached out, not with overwhelming force, but with something the collective had forgotten millennia ago, empathy. Understanding. The capacity to evolve without consuming, to grow without destroying. Through her connection to every awakened human, she felt them understand too. The quantum energy flowing through them wasn't a weapon to be unleashed, but a bridge to a new way of being. Rachel, Diana called out to her granddaughter. Remember what I taught you about quantum entanglement? How particles that have touched remain connected forever. Yes, Rachel replied, her voice stronger now. That's humanity's gift. Not power, but connection. The ability to touch the infinite while remembering what it means to be finite. To evolve while remaining true to who we are. The moon blazed with light as Diana released the quantum energy she had been channeling. But instead of attacking the collective, she opened a door, showing them what humanity was becoming. Not conquerors, not gods, but bridges between the finite and infinite. The collective's assault wavered, then stopped. For the first time in eons, they encountered something they couldn't consume, a species that had chosen to evolve not through conquest, but through understanding. You could join us, Diana offered, her consciousness reaching out to the countless absorbed minds within the collective. Not to be consumed, but to remember who you were. To find a way back to yourselves. The command center watched in awe as the collective's dark ships began to change, their surfaces cracking to reveal long-buried light within. The consumed civilizations, touched by humanity's awakening, began to remember their own paths, their own choices. The Xylaxians moved forward, their crystalline forms resonating with the new quantum frequency humanity had created. We were wrong, Crystal admitted. The archivists didn't create you to be their successors. They created you to show us all another way. Diana felt her physical form beginning to stabilize as the quantum energy settled into its new pattern. Around the world, awakened humans found themselves not transformed into godlike beings, but connected, to each other, to the universe, and to the infinite possibilities that lay before them. The lunar base's shields stabilized as the collective's weapons dissolved. Rachel's voice came through clearly now, filled with wonder. The quantum readings, they're like nothing we've ever seen. We're not just evolved, we're awakened, Diana finished. Truly awakened. Not to power, but to understanding. As the first light of dawn broke over Earth, humanity stood on the threshold of its true destiny. Not as conquerors of the infinite, but as bridges between worlds, between possibilities, between what was and what could be. Diana Blackwood, now both more and less than she had been, smiled as she felt the future unfold before them, infinite paths, infinite choices, and the wisdom to walk them while remaining uniquely, wonderfully human. The archivist's final gift had been understood at last. And somewhere in the quantum field that connected all things, Diana felt them smile back.